guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jody Lai. I'm the editor-in-chief of AutoGuide.com, and today we have a really special car with us. This is the 2017 Lamborghini Huracan rear-wheel drive Spyder. It's the LP580-2. And what that means is that it has 580 horsepower, and it sends all of that power to the rear wheels via a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. So this car is really special, and one of the things that makes it so special is its 5.2-liter naturally aspirated mid-mounted V10. Now that's the same engine that is in the Audi R8, and unfortunately I can't show it to you guys because of the convertible top. It covers all of that beautiful engine, but I will start it up for you guys later so you guys can hear it, because it is probably one of the best sounding engines you'll ever hear. So what else can I tell you? So 580 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque, which doesn't sound like a lot in the age of 700 horsepower Hellcats, but you will never find yourself needing more power when you're driving this car. So again, this is the rear-wheel drive model, and it's a little bit different from the all-wheel drive model, visually and performance-wise as well. So on this model, all of the aerodynamics are fixed. That means there's no deployable rear wing or anything like that. It has specially made tires that were designed just for the rear drive model. This one's sitting on slightly smaller 19-inch rims. The other thing that makes it a little bit different from the all-wheel drive model is that it has bigger air intakes in the front bumper here. And everything is just tweaked to be a little bit more aggressive and sporty than the all-wheel drive model. Just because it's rear-wheel drive, it's a lot more fun and a little bit more dynamic on the track. So it goes 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.6 seconds, and its top speed is 199 miles an hour. The weight distribution is 40 to 60 front to rear, so it is a rear biased car, and it holds a lot of the weight back there, but it feels surprisingly balanced when you drive it. And even when you take it at speeds of up to 200 kilometers an hour, what surprised me the most was how stable it felt at such a high speed. Like when you're going that fast, you have no sensation of how fast you're going. It just feels so solid and so stable. And that's the German side of the Huracan coming out, because you do know that Lamborghini is owned by Volkswagen Group. And so it's a really interesting mix of Italian and German engineering and design, all melded into one beautiful package. The sole purpose of this car is to go really fast, and it does that really well. Acceleration just seems to go in a blink. You're hitting legal speeds in no time at all. And one of the other fun things about owning this car or driving this car is how excited people get about it. So you have to have a very outward personality to drive this car. You're gonna want to be able to talk to people, and everyone wants to take photos of this car when you're driving around in traffic. People want to talk to you, snap photos, snap videos. Everyone has their Snapchats going. I took it out for a pizza run the other day, and I just heard a girl freaking out. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe there's a Lamborghini in my town. And she was so happy because she had never been this close to a Lamborghini before. And it's just so special because it's one of those cars that can just really make a person's day. You know, if you rev it in a tunnel, someone's gonna be shooting a video and they're just gonna be so happy that you did that and that they can share it with all their friends. So somebody was asking me if you could daily drive this car. And the answer is yes, you can, except you have to be willing to deal with a little bit of stress. So one of the things that did surprise me about the Huracan was how easy it was to drive like a regular car. Like if you're crawling in traffic or just driving through the city, it is surprisingly civilized, and it doesn't feel twitchy and like it's trying to fight you. It's just very civilized at low speeds. But what does make it really hard to live with day to day is how low it is to the ground. So if you just come over here, you can see how low it is. That's about Anyway, it is so low to the ground, and it does have a front lift to help you get over speed bumps and get up ramps. And it lifts the car by about 1 inch, which isn't a lot to play with, but it does help you a lot. It kind of alleviates the stress of driving it every day, but let's be real, anyone who has this car has a second daily driver, and this is their weekend toy. But that said, it is really livable to drive. I thought driving a Lamborghini at slow speeds would be very difficult, but it is surprisingly easy. Somebody else was asking me about if it's comfortable or not, and the answer is not really. So, like I said, this car has a singular purpose, and that is going really hella fast. We took it on a 2-hour road trip the other day to get pizza, like I said, and at the end of the trip, we were really tired and our bodies were sore, and part of it has to do with these seats. So they're very heavily bolstered, which is great for track driving, but perhaps not so good for a long road trip. And I'm a little bit smaller, so it doesn't really affect me that much, but my boyfriend's a little bit of a bigger guy. He stands at about 6'3". He found the seats very, very snug, and with the convertible top up, his head was brushing the top there. So if you're a little bit bigger, it might be a bit of an issue because he had to slouch down in the seat to kind of fit properly. But let's go inside. I want to show you all the cool details of this car. It has a ton of really cool details, and it's part of what makes it so special. So one of my favorite things about all Lamborghinis is the ignition switch. It is inspired by what you would find in a fighter jet. So what you do is just you flip it up, press the button, listen to that glorious V10. That is the most savage sounding exhaust I've ever heard. And it makes me so happy. And it makes everyone else happy if they're car people, because this is just so special. I also really love the aviation-inspired toggle switches up here. It also has 3 driving modes, which you can see over here. Strada is the most relaxed mode for street driving and in the city. Sport amps things up a little bit more. Corsa would pretty much only be used on a track, and that's the most aggressive setting. I can actually flip it to Corsa, and you can actually hear the difference. The exhaust gets a lot more aggressive and angrier. And funny enough, people always ask me this question when I'm doing exotic car stuff. And that question is, does it have a cup holder? So yes, it does. It is hidden right over here. It's not a very big one, so it's not gonna fit your big in case, you know, you wanted a coffee or an espresso or something. The other thing I really love about this car is just how special everything feels. So, for example, there's no drive gear. To put it into drive, you just flip the paddle shifter up. To put it into neutral, you flip both of them up. And what does it feel like to drive? It is spectacular. It's so balanced. The turn of speed is just mind-numbingly fast. You will never need to go that fast, ever. It is just so confident. It makes you feel like a superhero, even if you're not a really skilled driver. And that's really different from older Lamborghinis, which, you know, were a little bit... Older Lamborghinis were just a lot to handle, especially if you weren't a pro driver. They would be very angry at you and overly aggressive. This one is surprisingly easy to live with and surprisingly easy to drive. So let's just turn this off. Actually, do you want to go for a drive? Let's go for a drive. So we're just on the road now, and I'm just quickly going to show you how flippin' fast it is. So hang on. Yeah, like it's so ridiculously fast. There's no way you could use this car to its full ability on the street legally without getting arrested or something. And everybody's staring at you. Like, no matter where you go, everybody is doing double takes. They're all snapping photos of you. So unless you can deal with that kind of attention, this might not be the right car for you. I'm a kind of a shy person, and it's a bit much for me to take, but I'm still enjoying it. It is so much fun. I can't get enough.